Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show THAT you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Montreal Canadiens fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been following the NHL and especially the Canadiens, you know that this season has been anything but predictable. The Canadiens, a team with a rich history, a franchise that's been through thick and thin, is once again at a crossroads. And let me tell you, what's happening right now is so intriguing and potentially game-changing. It's hard not to get excited. The Canadiens have always been a team built on resilience, passionate fans, and a never-give-up attitude. But this year, there's an air of anticipation that something big is on the horizon. It's like the pieces are aligning for a major shift in the division, and honestly, the entire conference could feel it. Now, if we take a step back and look at the current state of the team, the Montreal Canadiens are sitting in a position that's both promising and filled with uncertainties. They've had moments of brilliance, flashes of that classic Canadiens grit, but also some inconsistency that has kept fans on edge. The core squad, led by some familiar faces, has been working tirelessly, but there's been a lot of talk about potential changes, trade rumors, new strategies, and even some reshuffling of the lineup. And that's normal for a team that's hungry for success, especially after the ups and downs of recent seasons. The team's management has been quite active behind the scenes, exploring options to bolster the roster, especially on the defensive end and in goal, knowing that a deep playoff run requires more than just talent. It requires cohesion, experience, and a bit of luck. What's really catching everyone's attention, though, is the recent movement in the Atlantic Division. There's been a flurry of trades and signings involving other teams, and some of these moves could have serious repercussions for the Canadiens. For instance, a division rival, perhaps the Tampa Bay Lightning or the Florida Panthers, might be making strategic adjustments that could either elevate their game or create vulnerabilities. Meanwhile, the Canadiens are quietly working on their own plans, trying to strike that perfect balance between adding pieces that can make an immediate impact and developing young talent that will pay dividends down the line. The coaching staff under head coach Martin St. Louis has been emphasizing adaptability and resilience, pushing the players to improve their systems and foster a winning mentality. And speaking of the players, there's a lot of buzz around some key figures this season. Nick Suzuki continues to be the heartbeat of the team, showing maturity beyond his years and demonstrating leadership on and off the ice. His offensive production has been impressive, and he's become a focal point for the team's future. Cole Caulfield, the young sniper, has been lighting up the scoreboard, reminding everyone of the potential he has to become one of the league's elite scorers. On the defensive side, guys like David Savard and Arbor Xhekaj have been crucial in providing stability. But what really has fans talking is the emergence of some new faces, young prospects who could be ready to step into bigger roles sooner rather than later. The development pipeline is promising, and that's essential for a team looking to contend again. Now, let's delve into what this all might mean for the Canadiens moving forward. The NHL season is long, and the trade deadline is always a pivotal moment. If management pulls off some strategic moves, whether that's acquiring a veteran defender or adding a playoff-tested forward, the Canadiens could position themselves as serious contenders. This team isn't just about making the playoffs anymore, it's about making noise once they get there. The organization's commitment to building a competitive, deep roster shows that they're aiming high. And that's exciting for fans who have been waiting for that breakthrough. That moment when the Canadiens remind everyone why they're one of the most storied franchises in hockey history. As we look deeper into the season, it's also worth mentioning the impact of injuries and how the team has managed to adapt. The Canadiens have faced their share of setbacks, but their depth has been tested and has responded well. The coaching staff's ability to tweak lines and strategies on the fly has been impressive, reflecting a team that's flexible and resilient. The fans, of course, are always there, supporting through thick and thin, eager to see their team rise once again to the top of the division and beyond. The atmosphere in Montreal is electric, and every game feels like a playoff encounter, which is exactly what makes following this team so special. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Montreal Canadiens news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now, what could this mean for the Canadiens in the big picture? Well, the landscape of the NHL is always shifting, and the Atlantic Division is no exception. Teams like the Boston Bruins, who have been dominant for so long, are still formidable, but there's a new wave of teams hungry for success. The Canadiens, with their young core and strategic acquisitions, are positioning themselves to be part of that next wave. The recent moves and the overall trajectory suggest that Montreal isn't just aiming to make the playoffs, they want to make a statement. Their fan base, passionate as ever, is dreaming of a deep playoff run that could culminate in another Stanley Cup victory, something that's been a part of the team's DNA since its inception. Looking a bit at the history, the Canadiens have a legacy of success that dates back over a century. They've won the most Stanley Cups in NHL history, a testament to their tradition of excellence. But in recent years, they've faced tough competition from the likes of Tampa Bay, Colorado, and other rising powerhouses. The challenge now is whether they can gather the right pieces, develop their young stars, and execute a playoff push that brings back that classic Canadiens magic. The current roster, combined with the strategic moves that are rumored to be on the horizon, suggests that the organization is fully committed to reclaiming their spot at the top. In terms of statistics, the Canadiens have been showing steady improvement in key areas. Their power play percentage has increased, indicating better execution in critical moments. Their penalty kill has also been solid, making life difficult for opponents. Offensively, guys like Suzuki and Caulfield are leading the charge, but others are stepping up, showing depth in scoring. The goaltending tandem, often a question mark in past seasons, has been surprisingly consistent. Jake Allen and Samuel Montembeault have provided stability between the pipes, which is crucial for any team with aspirations of playoff success. Of course, fans are always eager to see how the team's young prospects develop. The likes of Juraj Slavkovsky and Raphael Harvey-Pinard are attracting attention, and their growth could be the difference maker in tight games. The Canadiens' farm system has been producing promising talent, and the organization's focus on developing homegrown players is paying dividends. This long-term vision is what keeps fans hopeful, even during challenging stretches, because they know that the future is bright and the current roster is just the beginning of what could be a new chapter of success. Now let's talk about the fans, because Montreal is one of those cities where hockey is more than just a sport, it's a way of life. The atmosphere at Bell Center during home games is electric, a sea of red, white, and blue, with chants that echo through the city. The passion of the Canadiens faithful is legendary, and that energy fuels the team. Every game is a battle, every point earned is celebrated like a championship, and the hope of another Stanley Cup keeps everyone motivated. The community's support is unwavering, and it's that unity that makes Montreal hockey so special. Looking ahead, the Canadiens' schedule is packed with important divisional games, and each one could be a stepping stone toward their playoff aspirations. The remaining fixtures against division rivals will be critical, and fans will be glued to their screens, cheering on every goal, every save, and every moment of intensity. The team's chemistry seems to be improving, and with a few strategic tweaks, they could become even more dangerous as the postseason approaches. The coaching staff's focus on discipline, structure, and resilience is evident, and if the team continues on this trajectory, they could surprise many skeptics. And finally, for all the Canadiens fans out there, the excitement isn't just about the current season. It's about the legacy, the pride, and the belief that this team can rise again. Every practice, every game, every moment of triumph or setback is part of that grand story. The team's history is filled with legendary players, iconic moments, and unforgettable Stanley Cup victories. And while the road ahead might still have its hurdles, the spirit of Montreal hockey remains unbreakable. This is a team that, with the right moves and a bit of luck, can once again elevate itself to the heights of NHL greatness. And now, Montreal Canadiens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all these developments? Do you believe this team can make a deep playoff run this year? Who do you think will be the key players? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions matter so much to us and to the Montreal Canadiens community. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and news. Stay tuned for the latest Montreal Canadiens news, because this season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory. Thanks for being here, and as always, go Canadiens!